So in this video I want to just quickly go over transitioning from between a rifle to a handgun. But before continue, as usual, I just want to remind you that if you haven't yet watched my firearm safety video, please go ahead and do that. I put a link to it in all the descriptions. But yeah, definitely go ahead and watch that first, because your safety is the #1 concern. So make sure that you have all that in mind. And if you're learning something like this, I assume that you've probably been shooting for a while, a little bit already. You're not like a very beginner. Hopefully you're not learning something like this already. But still, even then, I don't want you to feel like you know it all. You might know more than I do, but still, watch the video in case there might be one little thing that I might mention that you might not have thought about, or heck, if you have any comments to make it better, let me know. But still, watch it regardless of your shooting level, so that you kind of have it fresh in your mind. Make sure that we kind of agree on, the safety rules and everything like that. I want to show you two slight variations on this transition, and they involve the type of sling that you'll be using. Now this one I have, you can kind of configure it as a single point, or kind of as a two point. It's really a 2-point sling, but you're going to attach it to the back here really close to where the other one is. So right now this is acting kind of like a single point sling, but a true single point sling would be wrapped completely around here, and the rifle would just be hanging down by one point. That's why that's a name. But that kind of sling, you can't really move it from side to side. Like it always wants to hang down in the center. With the 2-point sling, it kind of allows you to manipulate it more, and you can carry it, here all the way to your back if you really want to. But for the first, I'm just going to go ahead and show it to you in like a 1-point configuration, and this is kind of the more simpler method. But basically, you would need to transition between your rifle to your handgun for several reasons. The first is that switching from one to the other is probably faster than reloading. So if it was a situation where you're face to face with somebody right when you run out, it might benefit you to just go ahead and switch over to your pistol instead of reloading. After that threat's down, then go ahead and reholster, do a reload on your rifle. Then, another reason would be is if you're completely out of ammunition for your rifle, meaning that you're at the last magazine and then you just fired off the last shot. Now your only resort is the pistol. So basically, the method to this is, if you have a sling, all you really need to do is you're shooting, click, you verify that you're empty, just drop the rifle straight down. And you notice that with my support hand, I'm kind of guiding it down. And that's because if you just let it go, it's probably going to smack you in the shin pretty hard. And that would probably hurt. So basically, you're shooting, click, let it down, and then you go ahead and draw your pistol the way that you would normally draw the pistol. Shooting, click. Shooting, click. Again. Shooting, click. Now, I did mention that there was kind of a slight variation for that, and that's if you're using like a true 2-point sling where you have a little bit more control over where the weapon goes. So in this way, what I would recommend is, instead of just letting the weapon straight down, that in that same motion that you were doing before, after checking and letting it straight down, just while you're reaching for your pistol, just kind of drag the rifle off to the side. And with the 2-point sling, it'll stay there. And this doesn't take any more time than dropping it straight down, because you have to do that. There's a time that it takes for your shooting hand to get from a rifle to your pistol to drawing it anyway. In that amount of time, it's more than enough time for you to do this action where you're kind of swinging it to the side of you. And the reason why this is beneficial for you is that it's out of your way. When you're using a single point sling, the one drawback that I've always had with them is that because they always hang straight in front of you, they hang even more vertically than when I had than this, is that they can get right in the way of your knees. I'm like hitting my knees right now just doing this demonstration. By putting this off to the side, if you have like a 2-point sling, if you do need to move, you can, and you're free to, and you don't have to worry about banging your knees onto anything. And as you see, it's the same amount of time, so I'm not asking you to sacrifice anything. It's just if you happen to have a sling that allows for it, like I said, the single point doesn't really, this is better to go ahead and do it. So you fire, click. Fire, click. Fire, click. Fire, and click. Basically, that's all there is to transitioning between a rifle to a handgun. And again, this is kind of more of an advanced technique. Now you have two loaded weapons. Well, I guess this would be out if that's the purpose you're transitioning, but still, you have 2 weapons on you. So definitely keep safety in your mind, and don't try to do all these things until you're pretty comfortable, pretty confident. Sorry, I don't like to keep saying comfortable, but I kind of associate comfortable with being complacent. But yeah, so just wait until you're pretty confident with all the weapon systems that you'll be working with before you start doing anything like this. Start when you're training with your rifles, train with the sling, just so that you kind of get the feel of it. Even without the sling, you can do this and shoot one-handed. That's kind of like a whole different thing. There's a lot of people that would advocate trying everything without a sling, which I understand where to come from. You might not always have a sling on your rifle or whatever, or your shotgun or anything like that. So it's definitely a good idea to train that way. But that's something that I'm still trying to learn. So it's not something I'm going to be making a video on yet. But yeah, so basically that's the transition between the rifle and your handgun. So just remember, just to keep training. It's that repetition and the training, constant training, that would get you good at anything really in life. So just keep training, and just remember to always be safe above all. Okay, and thank you for watching my video.